Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Motivate with Coach Camp. I, of course, am your host, Coach Camp, and I am down here in these stupendous studios of SRP with Mr. Derek Michaud. All right, so last week, you guys got to hear all about Mr. Cecil Brunson, his harrowing tale of being a Vietnam veteran and what that meant whenever he became a POW. And so this week, I am so blessed to be able to have a follow-up. Sometimes we put like little series together, may have 2 or 3 kind of similar stories. Well, this week is an absolute icon. He is an American hero. He is something that is so phenomenal. I feel just absolutely like I am a fan, and I'm just going to sit here and try to ask questions that make sense. My guest this week is Mr. Luke McLaurine. He is a World War II veteran. Now, this gentleman here has a lot more than just being a World War II veteran. He also was a POW. He has an incredible backstory before he even got into the military. He even has an incredible post story after he left the military. This is like a museum moment. This is one of those moments in life where you just can't believe the thing is happening in front of you that is happening. I know you guys want to stick around for this. You do not want to miss this interview. But before we get into it, you know what I have to do. We got to pay the bills, right? So I'm going to send this out to my sponsors for a quick word, and we will be right back. Hello, everybody. I just wanted to have a quick second to let you guys know how much it means to me that you are my sponsor. SRP Studios, The Real Hernando, The Rhythm Section, Hardwick, Heating, Cooling, and Air Quality, Estes, Grading, Hodge Homes, Adair, Honey Farm, Miss Hippie Eats, Phones R Us, Ross, Sod Farms and Landscaping, Ivy Rain, Women's Clinic, Tonic POS by Tyler Young, and Coffee Central. Thank you guys so much for being a sponsor. If you'd like to be a sponsor, go to my website now, motivatewithcoachcamp.com, and click on the button. Thank you. Welcome back, folks. Here we are. We are with Mr. Luke McLaurine. Welcome to the Motivate with Coach Camp podcast, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for being here today. Weather's great. I ordered that for you.
I like that.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Doing great for an old goat.
Yeah. So do you mind sharing with my listeners what this young age is that you have made it to?
101.
101 years old. Now, I can tell you this. You are the best, most experienced person that's been in this studio. So you have made it to the top number on that one, my friend. Well, thank you so much for coming in. We have so much to get to today. Obviously, the story being from World War II, there's going to be a lot of storytelling in there, but I always like to start with some background. So where did you grow up, sir?
Memphis, Tennessee.
Grew up right up the road here.
Yeah.
And what was it you and your family did? Because I read up on that, and it's a pretty cool background.
Oh, yeah. We were bakers.
Yeah. How did your family get into that?
Well, that's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
My parents married. They were both working for the Frisco Railroad, and they had a store that was a butcher shop, a feed store for the chickens and all that kind of thing, and the people said, well, feed us too. So in 1924, they opened a restaurant and a bakery.
Where at was it? Where was that at in Memphis?
On Highland Avenue.
Okay. All right. So right there in Memphis, Tennessee on Highland, I'm very familiar with all parts of Highland. I am a retired firefighter paramedic, so I drove all over that city all the time.
Well, we were first place they were was at 695, which was on the west side of the street.
Mm.
And they raised the rent on the building, so they moved across the street to 524.
There you go. All right.
Yeah.
I like it. So growing up, did you have brothers or sisters?
I'm an only child.
Only child. So then it was predestined that you would get into some baking because they had all the time to dedicate attention to you.
I hope so.
Yeah, well, I hope so as well. So how old were you when you started getting into some baking? Because I know you did this for a little while.
Well, yes. After WWII is when I was really into it.
Oh, okay. So early on.
I just learned by being there.
Yes, you just kind of around the business and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Now, your family, and this part I am not going to pass on. This is pretty cool. What was it your family used to do for a very well-known international icon here in Memphis, Tennessee?
Elvis?
I believe that is who I am speaking of, sir. Mr. Elvis Presley himself.
Yes. We made Elvis's birthday cakes.
That is so cool. Did you know at a young age the enormity of who he was at that time? In the 40s, he really wasn't that big, I guess, yet. He went into the 50s.
No, he lived reasonably close when he moved from Mississippi to Memphis. He was about 10 blocks away, actually.
Okay.
But he would come into the bakery and buy groceries. Yeah.
That is pretty cool. I think he really probably hit his stride in the mid-50s, but he was up and coming for sure, because once he moved from down there in little old Tupelo, Mississippi, up here to Memphis, he started kind of getting his mojo going, if you will. So then you come out of high school, 17 years old, correct?
19 years old. 18 years old.
18 years old.
Get it right.
I'm trying, sir. I promise you.
42. 24. Class of 24.
Class of 24. So we'll get all these numbers right in a second. Look, it's not easy for me either, trust me on this one. So I'm going to make you look really good, because I'm really bad at numbers, trust me.
Well, me too. Well, 42 is when I graduated.
So you graduated high school in 1942. Yeah. And up to that point, did you have any family members that were in the military or had been in the military?
My mother's brother was in WWII.
So he was in World War
Great War.
Yeah. Okay. And what branch do you remember?
Army.
He was in the Army.
He was a cook.
He was, imagine that. So it ran in the family. You guys did a lot of cooking. I bet Thanksgiving around y'all's place was incredible. Not so much. All right. He's like, no, it wasn't.
No.
It wasn't really what it was cut out to be. Should have been better then.
Yeah.
All right. So in 1942, you graduate high school. Now, this is an interesting part that I want to hear from you. So what changed your mind from becoming the next generation of bakers versus going into the military?
Well, actually, I wanted to be an aeronautical engineer.
Okay.
And so my father sent me off down to Georgia Tech and did all my signing up for the draft and all that sort of thing while I was down there. And I liked to come home every once in a while, but I couldn't come home because all I had to get home to was a train all night and all day back. So didn't work.
Yeah, you didn't make a lot of trips back home. No, things were a little different back in the 40s as far as travel and even communication, obviously.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit harder. So when you go to be aeronautical engineer, is that at college or is that in the military?
It's college.
Is it college? So how long were you in school before that changes over and you start to think to yourself?
Well, because I couldn't come home, I transferred to Mississippi State. And it was the same schooling, but I could come home by using my thumb.
Yeah, doing a little hitchhiking.
At that time, yeah, it was legal and pretty safe.
Yeah, I would imagine it was very different back then. Yeah.
But then they came over from Columbus Army Air Base, just 20 miles away from Starkville down there, and said, join the reserve and you'll be the last ones to be called. This was December the 10th, 1942.
Okay.
I got a letter on my birthday, February the 18th. Report.
8 days later. This lie didn't last long.
Report to Miami Beach.
Yeah. So much for that. You'll be the last to call. Oh, by the way, we're at the last. So
you're the last ones.
That is incredible. So then just for people that maybe are not historians, just to give you a little backstory on this, he said December 10th, 1942. So then we all know on December 7th, 1941 was the bombing of Pearl Harbor, which actually is the moment that brought America into the war. So now we're going into World War II, obviously, and you're joining up. What are your thoughts at that moment? Because we were a year into this situation, if you will.
Well, I didn't want to walk.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to be in the infantry. And like I said, I wanted to be an aeronautical engineer. So joined the Air Force.
Okay.
The Army Air Corps.
Army Air Corps. Yeah, I don't guess they had the official Air Force back then. It was a Air Corps.
It was 51.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I actually did know some of that. I was in the Air Force, and I did know some history, but I am rusty, and we've already established not great with numbers. So we're working together on this, Mr. Luke. I appreciate you. So when you go into the Air Corps, how long is the training at that time for you?
Well, basic training was at Miami Beach. Mm-hmm. It was supposed to be 1 month. It turned out to be 2. And they didn't have any place to put us. So they had the Army use universities to take care of the guys while they were getting their training.
Yeah.
So I was at Davidson College after basic training, and I had 10 hours of flight time there in a J2 Cub, 45 horsepower, no brakes, no wheel.
Sounds pretty safe. And what could go wrong, right?
You push the throttle forward, and by the time you get to 45 miles an hour, you're in the air and traveling at all of 55 miles an hour.
Wow. That doesn't even seem possible. I mean, that's incredible. So when you start doing these flights and this training, what is the thought? What do you think they're going to use you for, and how is that going to play into the war?
They gave us enough training on being a pilot. They didn't let us fly solo, but I had 10 hours in that, yeah.
Okay, and I do know this much. So I read your bio. By the way, for those of you that don't know, you can go and purchase this book, I'm sure, on Amazon, other book purchasing sites, Forever Young Veterans. And Mr. Luke is featured in there along with several other veterans from Vietnam War, Korean War, and World War II. And it tells a lot of his backstory. And part of that was you really wanted to be a pilot, but yes, because you were colorblind, that disqualified you. Is that correct?
That is what they said.
Yeah. So then when that happens, instead of just being completely deterred from doing anything with it, you qualified to do what?
Well, we had a choice of being a navigator or a bombardier, and I said, I want to be a navigator. Mm-hmm. They said, well, all the schools are full. What else would you like to be? Well, that left one thing.
It's picking
bombardier.
You.
But a bombardier as a navigator it just doesn't have a celestial navigation training. And when we were in B-24s, my navigator taught me how to use the sextant, so I knew that too.
Yeah, you could do it all at that point. Yeah. I did read too. I thought this was kind of funny. So when they were selecting the bombardiers, they were also looking for people that were not extremely tall, and they said you immediately qualified for that part.
I do.
So being at 5'4", they were like, well, I don't know if you wanted to do this, but it's choosing you at this point.
Yeah.
All right. So you go to bombardier school, and how long does that take?
Well, bombardier school was from December to end of April.
Okay. So a few months there. Months. And what year is this? I'm guessing.
We're talking 43 right now.
So we're still in 43.
And 43 and then into 44. 44 is when I started bombardier training.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then at some point here, they say, guess what? We got great news. You get to go on vacation. We're going to send you into the war now. So what year was all that? When did this take place for you? Our
crew was sent overseas in 44.
Okay.
Went to the bomb group, 464 bomb group, heavy, B-24s. Yeah. And first mission for my bomb group was May the 7th.
What year was that?
That's 44.
Okay.
That was in Italy.
What was the job to do? Fly over a spot and then hit a target?
Well, primarily, that's it. Yeah.
Keeping it simple, but so bombardier, imagine you guys fly over, you have the bombs, y'all drop out, hits a certain area, and y'all fly back and get set for your next mission.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you were flying out over Italy, and how many missions did you go on?
Went over enemy territory 20 times.
20 times. Did you ever have any close calls in those first 20?
Yes.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about that, because this is the part that people just don't know or can't truly appreciate, and you lived it.
Our first mission was Budapest, an oil refinery. It was one big building and 10 of the big tanks. And, we took it out.
Mm-hmm.
There were 20 B-24 groups, if I got it correct, in the 15th Air Force. And we would fly in formations up to 26 to 30 aircraft and stream out over the Adriatic Sea and then fly up over northern Italy and into Austria and fly wherever we were going at that time, wherever we were sent to do the job.
Did you have a wife back home, by the way? I'd never even ask about that.
No, I was not married.
So that actually, I'm just asking that part because that does help some. That relieves a little bit of stress, in my opinion. I know if I've been doing things before I was married, that's one less thing I have to worry about back home.
Well, I was just 19 years old.
Yeah, you were a youngster back then.
Just got out of high school.
Man, I tell you what, and I can't even imagine at 19, the biggest responsibility I had was probably just cutting the grass, and I bet I failed on that a bunch of times. I'm just saying. That's an incredible.
Been there, done that.
Oh, so you can relate to that at least. All right,
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. So, all right, I know then there comes a point. So I don't want to miss a point that makes sense that you would want to talk about because, you know, there's a lot of things that probably took place I'll never know unless you tell me. But there comes the moment where the last flight happens and then things go awry.
Well, there was another one.
Yeah, talk to me about it.
All right. Vienna South Ordnance Depot. It's a group of buildings, maybe a quarter of a mile wide and a mile and a half long, where they repair and all that sort of thing. We had a target date, got to the airport, got to the airfield and flew, and we had to stand down for one day because we didn't have radar. There were clouds over the target. Second day, we went down and got in the airplane and started the engines. They called it off. Clouds over the target. And the third day, we got off the ground. Our airfield was 5,000 feet long, overrun of 500 feet, and then the trees started. You have 26 airplanes, one taking off every 20 seconds. The guys, not the first aircraft, are going to have a lot of fluttering and cuttering going on by that air. Well, we got off the ground and formed up over our, we had an area where we formed up into formation and got out over the Adriatic and flew up the coast to Trieste. And they always shot at us. But, of course, we were never close enough for them to hit us.
Yeah.
They just wanted to show that they were there, and they did. So evidently the Germans knew we were coming because normally we would fly it and get into the target for 10 to 12 minutes. And we always went downwind to get over the target as fast as possible. This day, we were shot at for 37 minutes, and we took a hit from a live shell, which did not explode, on our left elevator and rudder. It knocked the controls out of the hands of the pilots, and we went right straight up into the air, about 500 feet, and fell over backwards on our back and fell some 4,000 feet from 22,000 feet to 18 before the pilots were capable of getting the airplane under control again. Everybody in the front of the aircraft is tied in with seat belts. The navigator and the bombardier are standing up.
Yep. I was going to ask these questions, but you're getting there now.
We were standing up because we didn't have a seat.
Yeah. So you guys got to feel all of that activity.
So we bounced around pretty good, and the navigator and myself, because everybody else except in the front was tied down, but the waist gunners were not tied down either, so they had to hang on real good.
Man. You know, have you ever heard of the expression, a BB in a boxcar?
Yeah.
Yeah, just bouncing around, ping-ponging everywhere. So did you guys have any injuries from that?
We were bruised up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty fortunate, though, that it wasn't worse than that, I guess.
Yeah, well, I screamed over the intercom. I looked up out of the aircraft there, and the we were right under the bomb run. And it was time for the bombs to go away. And all the aircraft up there, 4,000 feet up above us, had all of their bomb bay doors open, ready to drop bombs.
And y'all underneath them.
And we were underneath.
That's not a good place to be. I'm guessing that part, but I'm thinking that's a solid place you don't want to be.
That's one place you do not want to be.
So I'm assuming, did they notice you guys had fallen? They did not. Oh, wow.
It didn't make any difference.
Yeah. They would have still dropped them, huh?
They were going to drop their bombs.
Yeah.
And that's the way it should be.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. Anyway, I yelled on the intercom to turn right, and we got out of it. And on the way home, there was a P-51 that came up behind us, and I told the guys to be careful, to keep him in view. And he came up and parked alongside out on our left side out there and talked with our pilot a little bit. "Hello, big brother. This is little brother." And then he put the throttle forward and went home while we were still staggering, trying to get home too. But we did make it back that time.
Yeah, I imagine, though, that was a pretty scary moment.
Yeah.
And at 19, I'm telling you now, that's like the moment where I'm like going back and say, I think I want to do a career change. Let's do something different. Come out floors.
I don't think so.
It's probably not going to be allowed at that point.
No, you don't do that.
Yeah, I guess not. Especially not in the 1940s, where that's why they say y'all are the greatest generation. Who can argue this? You are, sir, the third World War II veteran that I've had the opportunity to have a discussion with. You guys are built different. Y'all just are built different. You know that, right?
Well, I'm a lot smaller.
You're smaller, but you're built different. You're strong. Y'all are tough. Tough, I'm telling you. So after this mission, is it the next mission that things go really bad for you, or is it a few missions later?
This was later.
Later on, okay.
But it was next to the worst mission I had.
That was number 2, the silver.
Was number 2.
That was the silver, and now the gold is coming. So give us the gold moment where Luke's life really takes a hard turn, and this is the part where there should be a movie.
I doubt that.
Well, I feel like it could be. I read over it. It's incredible.
We did it again. We took off and formed up and went out over the Adriatic. We went over the Alps into Austria. And the clouds were all over, covering everything. And we lost the prop control on number 4. That's the outboard on the right side.
Any reason, or it just happened?
It just happened.
Okay.
The airplanes are not
well kept.
Really, really good.
So basically, it's like flying with Spirit Air. Yeah. I'm just kidding. I don't know. Spirit Air is probably better than that. I don't know.
Anyway, then we lost the supercharger on number 3 inboard on the right side. And that bird won't fly on 2 engines. So we had to leave didn't have to on purpose leave, but we had to get out of it.
Yeah.
So we were going down, and we were losing maybe 500 feet every 5 minutes. And then the number 2 supercharger quit on the the left inboard engine. So that left us with one really pulling and one not really doing a whole lot either. And so we were going down.
Yeah, that thing's not going to stay up.
I opened the bomb bay, had the bomb bay opened, dropped the bombs, threw out ammunition, tossed out machine guns, trying to keep the thing in the air as long as possible.
Just trying to make it lighter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we got into the clouds at 12,000 feet. My navigator called the pilot, Ben, and told him, Ben, the mountains in this area go up to 12,000 feet. So we were in the clouds at 12,000 and going down real fast. And I was throwing ammunition out the bomb bay, and it's just behind the pilot's compartment. My co-pilot stepped on my shoulder, and I watched him disappear into the clouds. Now, the B-24 has a flight deck which is up below the bottom of the aircraft, about 30 inches high. I didn't have my parachute. It was up front. So I had to crawl underneath the pilot's compartment to the front of the airplane, about 10 feet, and get my parachute and come back. And I beat my pilot out.
You had some motivation.
I was moving.
So when you see the co-pilot diving out, you're like, this is not going to stay up very much longer. I got to go.
I was not on intercom, and I didn't hear the alarm bell.
Sure. Yeah. And so then you go up there and get your parachute on. What is the pilot doing?
He's getting up out of his seat.
Okay. All right.
And I see him getting up. I jumped through the bomb bay, which is a big open space. And I was in the air for about 10 seconds. Pulled the ripcord. Didn't open the first time, so I put both hands on the ripcord, pulled on. Then it opened. And what struck me first was how quiet it was out there, because I'd been sitting in that airplane or standing in the airplane with all those 4 engines roaring real loud. And but I was in the air just about 10 seconds, and I saw the ground, and I saw a tree. Now, there were lots of trees, but I saw this tree, and my parachute hung up on the limb. And it flipped me upside down, and I went head first into the ground.
Oh, wow. How high do you think?
No. I lit in a big snowbank. It was about 8 feet deep, and it knocked me unconscious. And I don't know how long I was in unconscious state, but when I woke up, I was upside down, covered all over with snow. And that's a strange feeling.
Yeah, I would say this feeling I would have is cold or numb.
Yeah, it's cold. It's cold.
Do you remember seeing the plane disappear from you?
No.
Once you jumped out, it was just kind of behind you and gone, huh?
Yeah, it was either in front of me or behind me. I don't know where it
just kind of disappeared.
It does not bother me at all.
Right, you were out of it, and that's the part that mattered, right? So did everybody get out?
All 10 of us got out.
All right, I'm going to show this now because this is the important part. So this is the crew I'm showing to the camera. I'm going to put this up here and right in there. So this is the crew that was in the plane with you, and all 10 of you guys made it out of there to safety. And I'm going to show this picture also, Luke. I know it's maybe a little hard distorted, but I'm going to put this up here. And this shows where the guys jumped out into the mountain, and then it has some of the landmarks around it that it's got. But it gives you guys a little bit of an idea about the terrain and the location. And so, sir, do you know where you are at the time that you are jumping out of the plane? Do you know what your location is as far as country and stuff?
We knew we were in Austria.
Okay.
But we were on our way to Munich. Didn't make it.
Right.
Didn't get credit for the mission.
Are you serious?
No.
I know, we're government work. I tell you what, I'm going to have a word with you guys. Donald Trump, fix this. Fix this.
Oh, well, anyway, I hear these voices up on the mountainside, and it's my pilot and co-pilot talking to my navigator. He was hung up in a tree. His parachute had just...
You guys landed in a forest.
And he was up about 20 feet. And I worked my way up there, and they were telling him, take your knife out and cut the shroud cords. That's what he did. And then he fell about 20 feet. Where we were in the mountain there was a trail or a little road or something that 2 little boys were on. I'm guessing 10 to 12 years of age or something like that. And they had a rifle. And the larger one sent the smaller one down to the village where we were, and he brought back a German soldier with a big rifle. Now, I had a .45 automatic on my hip. I had sworn with my hands up. And I didn't have a Bible. I would have had my hand on the Bible too. But anyway, I had sworn that I would shoot the bomb site no matter what. Mm-hmm. I didn't no more think about shooting that bomb site. I wanted to get out of that bird.
Well, things change. Things happen, things change. Well, you've been knocked out. You're in the snow. You're discombobulated. Now it's like you got these people coming at you. You got the Germans coming. So were all 10 of your guys kind of close knit together? Did y'all all end up kind of in the same area?
In the same area. And it didn't matter because we were knee deep in snow.
Yeah.
It was 16th of November.
Do you remember the temp, what that felt like? Can you recall that moment? Were you freezing to death is what I'm really getting at?
No.
Too much adrenaline, maybe?
Well, that too, but, we had on heavy clothing.
Oh. Being up in that airplane with it being open, that makes sense.
The temperature up to 25,000 feet or 20,000 feet is 50 to 60 degrees below zero.
I guess I'm not thinking about that. Yeah, that's a great point.
And if you touch a piece of metal with bare skin, you're stuck.
Just like in that Christmas movie.
Yeah, you're stuck.
Man. So they come get you. The German soldiers show up, and then what happens to y'all?
Well, they take us down to the village to this place called Saalfelden, Saalfelden, Saalfelden. Mm-hmm. And that's a couple of miles or less from Hitler's old hangout, the Eagle's Nest, in Austria. Just to put you in this, where you might be. So they put us in jail. It had one room for the drunks of the town, and all 10 of us were in there for 2 days.
Oh, man.
In and out, they did allow us to go to the restroom. Came to get us with a truck, which looked like a big pickup truck. Mm-hmm. Not a 150. A 250 or 300. Mm-hmm. On the side of the truck, next to the passenger side, it's a big water heater. And that's what it was, a water heater, because the truck was a steam locomotive, steam engine. They moved us to Munich, which we were supposed to go there to drop our bombs anyway, so we might as well just go there.
Sure, complete the mission.
Yeah. And there was a young officer there about our age, maybe 19 or 20, and he asked us, "Do you speak Italian?" And we said, "Poco poco." Well, of course, that means just a little bit.
Okay.
All right. But we did have a crew member, Ralph Bruno, which was a second-generation Italian. And his mother never, ever learned to speak English at all. She didn't even try. So he was very fluent in both languages. So in Italy, we had an interpreter all the time.
That's good.
It is good. Yeah. He asked us if we were hungry. Well, we hadn't eaten for 3 days, so yeah, we're hungry. Well, would you like thick soup or thin soup? Well, thick soup. We'll take thick soup. It's potato soup, Kartoffel. And from there, they put us on a train and took us to an interrogation center. And I was in a large cell by myself. It was maybe 5 to 6 feet wide, 10-foot ceilings, and had a doggy door and a doggy opening at the bottom. And that's where they fed us once a day, 5 ounces of what was called soup. And I don't think anything but water was what it was.
Did they even warm it up for you?
It was warm.
At least it was warm, huh?
It was warm.
Yeah. Conditions are not great. And you're by yourself. Is it dark in there? Was there any light?
There's a big window up about 10 feet, or maybe a little higher. And I had a bed with 5 slats in it and a straw mat. And it's not very comfortable.
No, I wouldn't think so.
But so I slept on the floor.
The floor was a better option. Yeah.
Just take the slats out. 14 days. Trying Morse code and yelling and screaming, trying to get some information about somebody else being in there or what have you.
Was there any kind of response?
Nah.
So for 2 weeks, you're by yourself.
Yeah.
How often are they bringing you in to interrogate you?
Well, this is later.
Oh, it's later. So for 2 weeks, you're really just kind of by yourself.
Yeah. Yes.
2 weeks by yourself. What is going through your mind, or can you recall what was going through your mind at that moment about what was going to happen to you next?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't blame you. There are moments in my life I would not want to remember. That would be one of them. So you don't know what was keeping your sanity or what was keeping you going. Hope? Did you have like thoughts of home or thoughts of, you want to rescue other folks? What's going on in your mind?
Oh, well, if I had a mind, I would probably think of something, but I don't know.
Yeah, sure. It's okay. So then whenever the 2 weeks get up, where do they take you next, or what happens next?
Well, they come and get me and take me to the interrogation officer.
Okay.
A major. He speaks perfect English, not American English, perfect English, because he went to school in England.
Oh, very proper.
Yeah, very much so.
All right. And so what kind of questions are they asking you?
First thing he says, "Here, Luke, have a cigarette." Well, he handed me an English cigarette. And they give us, when we get there, they give us this piece of paper. You're supposed to put out all the information that you had. Well, all we're allowed to give is name, rank, and serial number. Mm-hmm. And that's all they got for me. But when he started asking questions, he had the answers.
He was seeing what you were going to say.
Yeah. Then he said, "How's Ed?" Well, Ed, there's a lot of Eds in the world.
There was a horse back then named Ed.
Yeah. He's talking Mr. Ed Crump, our mayor in the city of Memphis.
Mayor of Memphis.
Yeah.
He knew y'all ran together.
Well, that's what I told him. Mr. Crump and I don't travel in the same circles.
Different friend group.
So I'm presuming that he's getting the information, because every time I moved from one station to the next, it was always in the paper. Mm-hmm. So they had people here, just like the Russians and the Chinese have right now. Mm-hmm.
Getting intel.
Getting the intel.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did your family know that your plane had went down and when you were captured, or did they know anything about this?
No.
Nothing. No. So no way to get word out either, obviously.
No.
All right. So then after the 2 weeks, do you go into like a more populated cell or area?
No.
Okay.
That's it. Until they get through with this interview that is going on. And he knew everything about me. He knew when I went to school, where I went to school, all that kind of stuff. So they had all that information.
What did you think about that when they're telling you about you?
Yeah.
I mean, was that pretty amazing?
It is.
It would have blown my mind.
Still today.
Yeah, it would have blown my mind for sure.
Absolutely. So they take me down back to where I was in this little cell, whatever it was, and give me a razor and supposed to shave my beard. Well, I didn't have any beard.
You're 19, right?
I still don't have any beard. So, yeah, and then they put me in a room where there was at least 40 other POWs talking, gabbing about everything. And I'm sure they had microphones in there to try to see if there was any information they could get. But
yeah.
They put us on a train and take us to the Red Cross camp. the Swiss Red Cross camp.
Mm-hmm. How long have you been in captivity when that moment took place?
3 weeks.
Okay.
Now, I don't know where this Red Cross camp was.
Mm-hmm.
Still don't. And I was in Boy Scout Troop 8 in Memphis, and I had a friend there named Tom Young, and he was a little bit older than I was, maybe 3 years. But anyway, while we were standing outside at a PEL one morning, which is head count, a PEL,
mm-hmm.
and this guy comes up to me and says, "Leighton, is that you?" And I said, "Tom, is that you?" 4,000 miles away.
You never know who you're going to run into around here.
Never know when, where, or how you're going to run into somebody.
That's incredible.
Oh, man.
So
from there, they sent both of us. I never saw Tom again until we both got back home.
Okay. So what were they doing for you at the Red Cross?
They were giving us a regular United States Army overcoat, some socks, knit socks. The ladies had knitted them, and a little skull cap.
Okay. So they gave you some basic supplies. They feed you?
We were fed once a day.
Once a day.
5 ounces of soup.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
That's a heck of a weight loss.
Standard German fare for POW.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
So when you got captured, I know we talked about this before we started our interview, but how much did you weigh at that time before you got captured?
135 pounds.
So 135 pounds. Now, during this time, you're getting 5 ounces of soup a day. How long are you in captivity?
6 months.
So for 6 months, you're barely eating anything. Hardly any kind of real substance whenever they finally do get to rescue you. So take us up to that point, because I want everybody to hear how much you weighed when you got to that point.
That's fine. Well, we were allowed, I was in a room in a barracks with 12 total. And we were allowed a Red Cross parcel, half a Red Cross parcel a week for each person. So we had six parcels for 12 of us. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Plus the soup.
So then a little bit more food.
The American parcels had Spam, beef, instant coffee, 5 cigarettes, sugar parcels, little packets like we use.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't a whole lot, that's for sure.
Wasn't a lot. So for the 6 months, what's going on? Are they constantly interviewing you guys, or they're just kind of leaving you there?
They're leaving us there.
Yeah.
It's where I was at Stalag Luft 3. Mm-hmm. In other words, it's POW camp for the Luftwaffe.
Okay.
Stalag Luft 3.
All right. So then take us up to the point where somebody comes and you're rescued. So you went in 43. The war ends in 44. So were you a POW up to the end of the war at that point?
Actually, the 29th of April. I graduated from bombardier school the 29th of April. Mm-hmm. I was liberated on the 29th of April.
How about that?
Yeah, how about that? Stalag 7A, Moosburg, Munich. Mm-hmm. And then during that time, we had been moved twice. The February of 45.
All right.
They have moved us out of Stalag Luft 3 because the Russians were getting close. Mm-hmm. And according to the rules of war, if there is such a thing, they have to keep the POWs away from combat. Well, I think they moved us because they didn't want us to be captured by the Russians and given rifles. Mm. Now, my number there was 8,970. So there were that many POWs
At least that many. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a lot of you guys.
So this was during the time of the battle going on over in France, and it was cold. They marched us for 3 days without ever stopping.
Wow.
And baby, it was cold out there.
Just as the song might suggest.
But it was cold. And moved us down to Spremberg, Germany. I got warm there.
Yeah.
I looked out, really. At night, as we were moving, somebody would stumble and fall and hit on the guy's sled he had. No, it was makeshift sled. And one night I stumbled and fell on it, and I couldn't get up, and 2 guys picked me up and threw me up on top of the wagon, a horse-drawn wagon, where the Germans had thrown all of their packs. When they got to Spremberg, they put us, some of us, of course, if there are 9,000 of us out there, they're going to have to scatter us around at Spremberg. And they put us in a factory that made decorative tiles like the ones that go around fireplaces and things like that. And so they had this big furnace down in the middle of the room. So we were warm.
It felt like you had hit the jackpot.
We did, buddy.
It's funny how whenever everything's stripped away from you, you can just have that one moment that's a win. That's a win for you.
It's a win-win, I guarantee that.
Wow.
Anyway, get down to Spremberg 10 days, and they put us on boxcars, 40 and 8s.
Did you guys know y'all were being liberated at that point?
No, we were not liberated.
Yeah.
We weren't even close.
Okay.
But put us on this 40 and 8s, and the 2 guys that had picked me up and thrown me on top of that wagon with a horse-drawn wagon were next to me in the boxcar. Paul and Eugene. We stayed together the rest of the time. They gave us a can of horse meat.
Actual horse meat.
Actual horse meat.
Ooh, what did that taste like?
For 3 of us. That was to last us for a while.
Yeah, that didn't sound like that was very tasteful.
It was good.
It was good. I guess when you're hungry, anything could be good.
I guarantee it was good. But they didn't move us in the daylight hours. They only moved us at night.
Yeah.
Because the Allied aircraft would tear boxcars all to pieces. Went to Nuremberg, Stalag 11, and we were there for a while. Then the Americans started coming through. So they moved us out of there, and we were on the road for 18 days.
Did you guys know where y'all were going?
They didn't tell us.
Okay.
Not that it would have mattered a lot.
Sure.
But some of the guys were pretty smart. They had some white cloth and had got the letters out, POW. So anytime we stopped, they put those letters out so the Allied aircraft to see that we were not German.
Yeah, didn't want to be mistaken and blown up.
No, we didn't want to get shot at.
Makes perfect sense to me.
Been there, done that before. We don't need that anymore.
You come too far.
Yeah. So they moved us to 7A at Moosburg, which is Munich, and we were liberated the 29th of April, 1945.
From Munich?
From Moosburg. Munich.
From Moosburg. And was that not the area that y'all were supposed to be bombing?
It was close.
Isn't that ironic?
Let's put it that way.
Do you find the irony here?
I do.
Where you were going to bomb the place that you end up getting rescued from.
Yeah.
That is a full circle event. Did the guys, this part just kind of came to me, were y'all in any way aware of what was going on with the war while y'all were in captivity?
We had a radio.
Okay.
BBC. We could get BBC on it. I didn't have a radio. Somebody in the camp had a radio.
Okay.
Yeah, let's put it that way. The parts came in Red Cross parcels. and put together. Now, the cigarettes that were in the parcels, we couldn't smoke. They were saved up to bribe the Germans, the guards. At Stalag Luft 3, there was a tunnel. Now, if you've seen the movie picture, The Great Escape, that was the tunnel.
Okay.
Yeah. But there were others, I learned later, Tom, Dick, and Harry, which were tunnels being built also at the same time.
So you guys, you make it to Mooseburg.
All right, we were in Mooseburg.
And you're getting liberated.
Well, before that, we were in a big white tent between the barracks, and we were right close to the fence. The opening was not more than 4 feet away from 2 sections of barbed wire with razor wire in between. So if you wanted to get out, it wasn't exactly the right place to go.
Yeah, it's going to slice you up.
Each night there was always a air raid siren going on because I didn't fly any of these missions, but our group flew missions into Germany just to keep the Germans awake. But this night there was not. There was a dirt road right outside the fence there, and a honey wagon was coming, got the latrines and pumped them out and put them on the fields as fertilizer. So there was this truck, the honey wagon, coming along 10 feet away outside the fence, and no air raid siren went off. And all of a sudden there was a loud boom. Some Allied aircraft had sent a missile into the truck. Fortunately, he had not pumped the latrines out, but it scared the living daylights out of me. I guarantee you that. All this sudden boom, and then the sound of the engines being throttled forward, full blast. I shook for 30 minutes.
Yeah, I'm sure you thought it was over with again.
I shook for 30 minutes. Tough stuff, buddy. I guarantee that. I was really, really shaken.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, you guys have come so far. Yeah. You've been through all kinds of stuff. You got to be feeling like at some point. Now, if y'all were able to get some information from that BBC radio, you probably had an idea of how the war was going and that things were moving toward the end. So that should give everyone hope to keep going.
Absolutely.
And here you are getting close to the finish line, so to speak. And then this bomb goes off and you're like, this is horrible because I'm almost possibly free.
Yeah.
And this thing almost takes me out.
Yeah.
So I can understand why it would even shake you in a different way, because honestly, I'm thinking to myself, if I was captive, I had no idea how long I would be captive. There probably would come a point where I'm like, I wish a bomb would land on me. I don't want to be captive.
I don't want to be anymore.
Yeah, but you're at the end of this thing. You want to make sure you make it.
Yeah.
So then how much longer is it before you finally get rescued and you're able to get word back to the family? Guess what? Luke made it.
29th of April. 1945, they fight a battle right over the top of us. And it didn't last but about 10 minutes, but you could hear the shells going across.
Yeah.
Whistle, whistle, whistle. And then the tank comes through the front gate. Now we're talking lumber with barbed wire on it. That's the gate. Maybe 12 feet tall and 8 feet, 10 feet wide.
Not much of a barrier for a tank.
Not much barrier for a tank. By the time that thing was 10 feet inside the gate, you couldn't see it anymore. POWs, we called ourselves Kriegies because the German word for war is Kriegsgefangene. You're a Kriegie. And you couldn't see it. And we were liberated. I'll tell you a story about this a little later, but anyway, you couldn't see that tank. But they had fought the battle right over the top of us. And 2 days later, they sent some aircraft in, some troop carriers, C-47s, to pick us up and take us out. And they were just 6. So, fortunately, the three of us were out on the airfield at the time. We're talking about a hayfield. Anyway, we had to stop at Nancy, France to refuel. And they said, if you'd like to get off the aircraft and relieve yourselves or just stretch your legs, go ahead. Buddy, nobody got off.
Ain't no chance I'm getting left behind.
No. Flew us into Le Havre at Camp Lucky Strike.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing they did was put us in a tent and tell us,
yeah,
you've been POWs for so long, your stomachs are shrunk. We're going to feed you after we wash you off.
Got a little bit of dirt accumulated. How much did you weigh at that point?
98 pounds.
You went in at 135. You're leaving at 98.
Yeah.
You were just skin and bones.
Well, yeah. Truly, most POWs came out with a loss of at least 1/3 of their body weight.
Man.
Yeah. So, the first thing they did is take your clothes off and throw them on the fire.
That's what I heard.
They had a big bonfire. And that meant your shoes and your socks, your underwear, and you're stark out there.
Just hanging out naked,
and
getting cleaned off.
Then they put you in the shower and you scrub, wash off, and do it again 3 times.
Wow.
Then they give you a towel and you dry off. And you throw the towel on the fire. And then they dust you down with DDT.
Well, yeah, I guess body lice and stuff.
Yeah. Whatever kind of
vermin and critter out there.
You could get. We had it.
Yeah, you guys were carrying stuff around.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, you haven't had a bath in 6 months. Maybe some guys haven't had a bath in a year and a half.
Yeah.
No, that's not so. They did have baths at Stalag Luft 3 showers.
Yeah, but some guys in some parts, I'm sure, didn't. So, yeah, it's horrendous conditions, and now you're getting cleaned up. What's it like on that first meal? What are you thinking?
Well, we get through, and they give us the uniform. I say give. There's a big tent, and the clothes are all that. There's 6'4" guys and guys like me, 5'4", and they're all together. So you have to scavenge through everything to find what you get. But you finally get your clothes on, and they let you go down the chow line, which is an outdoor chow line, and there may be 6 different things in each one of the places. And they plop it in there. I couldn't eat but 6 bites.
Stomach was so shrunk up.
All I could eat. Yeah.
Wow.
But by the time I got out there a little later, I was able to eat.
Yeah. So interesting thing that I learned about the POWs from World War II, they didn't want to send the men and women back. It was all men really back then, back home. So emaciated. No. Because they didn't want Americans to see what that looked like. So they had to fatten you guys up, as they say, before they sent you home. Is that kind of what they were doing with y'all?
Well, not with me.
Yeah. Not with you. Then maybe others, folks.
Yeah, maybe others.
Yeah.
Anyway, they put it on a ship, a Liberty ship, and sent us over to England to form up a convoy. And so while we were there, the war ended.
Okay.
And we were in the mess hall, which was just all stainless steel tables, like picnic tables, and came on BBC, and they're going to turn the sirens on for the last time. And the sirens came on, and there were 9 of us, and every one of us dove right straight under the tables.
I think I understand why.
Yeah. Because we were over there till May the 7th, and the war ended, and that was it right there.
Yeah.
But we came home in convoy because we were not, evidently they weren't sure that the submarines, the German subs, had gotten all the message that it was over. Going over from New York to England, where I went first, the water was rough. It was really rough. But this time coming home, it was calm. Mm-hmm. But we're still in formation and making maneuvers in and out like that. And somebody, us or somebody else, didn't get the right information, so we ran into the back of another one.
Oh, my gosh.
And knocked a hole in the front of the bow.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
It's like you guys, this trip home is almost more dangerous now than the whole ordeal from before.
But anyway, we had on board lumber and concrete, and they patched it up. And we got home. And when I got home, I waved to the lady because I had waved bye to her when we went out there.
The lady being the lady, Statue of Liberty.
Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, back
yes,
home again. Sir. Wow, full circle. What was the moment like when you get home and you see your family for the first time?
Went out, got off the ship, and went to the camp where we had left from, and went on a train to Atlanta. Mm. And when I got to Atlanta, I called my parents and told them that I had been liberated and I was in Atlanta, then I will be home. Tomorrow, I told them that I didn't tell them where I would get off. But anyway, in Memphis, there's train stops before you get to the main
train station.
Union Station.
Union Station, yeah.
Union Station. So I got off the train at Bunton Station, and in Memphis, that's right where the Memphis Country Club is. Mm-hmm. Well, I got off the train, and my parents didn't recognize me. Mm. They were there.
Yeah.
But they didn't recognize me.
Wow. And
they started to get the car started to go back up to the Union Station. And I whistled real loud. And they stopped and looked at me, and they said, well, that must be him.
Wow. You had changed a lot in such a short amount of time.
Yeah. They had never seen me in that uniform.
Yeah. Did they bake you a cake?
No.
What? Feels like that's the tragedy here.
Well,
they're professional bakers, Luke.
That's all right, too. I made a lot more cakes.
I'm sure you did.
I really
did. So you go back home, and then what does Luke do moving on for the rest of your life? Because I want to end with this incredible story of how you don't allow life to just stop going. We're going to end with your skydiving story. But what happens after the war? What does Luke do for your life after that moment?
I'm pretty dumb.
I don't know about that.
Well, yeah, I do. But anyway, after I got out, I had to go to San Antonio to Kelly Field to get out. Mm-hmm. That was December the 2nd. So I had been in December. It was pretty bad. Let's put it that way. Mm-hmm. I liked to fly. Mm-hmm. I thought it was great. The war's over. Okay? When I got home from getting out, I joined the active reserve. And I flew. Flew as a navigator. And guess what? Korea came along. And I was recalled to the service.
I see.
So I was in B-29s down at Shreveport. We were not going overseas because most of us were other veterans. Mm-hmm. So what we did, take B-29s out of storage and send them over to Atlanta, Warner Robins, and have them refurbished. And then we would fly back to and train. And we were supposedly a electronics countermeasure group. Mm-hmm. A buddy if we were the only thing that was working, we were awful. It's absolutely terrible. We'd fly against the radar sites down in Destin, and then they would have aircraft fly against us, and they shot us down every time.
It's a good thing you weren't in the war with that.
But anyway, we had crews to take B-29s over to Korea. They would fly to San Francisco and then to Alaska and then down the Aleutians to Japan and then over to Korea.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was the shot officer for our group there. I had 178 guys that I had to keep the records for. Unfortunately, in San Francisco, they would not accept my shot records. And the guys had to get shots all over again and get in that dang airplane and fly over there.
Oh, my gosh.
It was terrible. Now, the B-24 did not have a heater in it. It was just plain cold.
Mm-hmm.
The B-29 was more solid. It had a heater in it. But they wouldn't let us use the heaters when we were in Alaska because you had to jump out and it was too cold, you'd freeze. That's really smart.
Yeah. We want you to be real cold when you jump into the cold.
Absolutely.
Makes perfect sense.
It makes perfect sense.
So you served in World War II. You were a part of the Korean War, even though it was in a supportive role.
Yeah.
And how long were you total in the military as a whole?
10 years.
10 years.
Active and
reserve.
In reserve.
Okay.
Now then, what we did, we would jump troopers at Fort Campbell or take them over to Carolinas. And we had one trip over to the Carolinas at Fort McCall, Camp McCall,
mm-hmm.
3 aircraft. And we had troopers, jumpers,
mm-hmm.
that we were hauling over there at Camp McCall. And we were the last one of 3 aircraft to land. And the plane didn't want to sit on the ground. Mm-hmm. It just would not sit down. So I was standing behind the pilot, and I ran back and told the jump master that we were going off the end of the runway and get your men off the aircraft as quickly as possible when they come to a full stop. Well, I ran back up, got to my desk, put my seatbelt on, and we did. We went off the end of the runway, and the C-46s that we were flying, it was tail draggers. It didn't have a nose wheel on it.
Mm-hmm.
So the aircraft went up on its nose and bent the props back, and then it settled back down with a loud thump, and it drove the tail wheel up inside the aircraft. And I was sitting at my table, the navigator's table, and I turned around and looked, and there was nobody back there. Those paratroopers had gotten off that airplane
they didn't jump
without me even knowing.
Lord have mercy. Folks jumping out of planes everywhere, not telling you about it. Isn't that something? You took that one all the way in, too. So then that actually is a good transition to this real quick. So clearly there has been this long history of needing to jump out of planes. One time you did jump out of a plane and landed upside down and was knocked unconscious, found yourself in the snow. What happens at 95 where you say to yourself, you know what, Luke, we've had an exciting life, but I think I kind of want to jump out of another plane?
Well, here's the deal, buddy. I thought I'll do these 7 jumps, dual. And then when I get to be 100 years old, I'll do a solo.
Okay.
Well, the airfield that we were at is right next to the Tennessee, excuse me, insane asylum.
The insane asylum. So now you're worried they're going to take you in. You got to be careful.
But I did do that one jump.
Yeah.
Went to 14,000 feet, and the guy that was the big man behind me. He didn't have any trouble moving me around. But anyway, we got to the door, and we jumped out, and one of the photographers that was taking pictures of us coming down was a young lady. And I asked her after we had jumped. Oh, she says, well, I do this all the time. I maybe have 200 jumps so far. She was taking pictures of us coming down.
Yeah, 95 years old.
Yeah.
You never stop living. That's kind of the story there, right?
I'm here.
You're still here.
101.
101 years old, man. Still doing stuff. So obviously you didn't get to make it to that 100 mark where you did the solo dive, but you got that one in at 95, which is absolutely truly incredible.
Yeah.
So what would you tell the people out there, because we are getting close to the finish line here on this, what would you want to leave folks to know about Luke, or just any kind of message you'd like to leave as your final statement?
Keep on keeping on. Keep doing it.
Yeah. Keep working hard. Keep doing it.
I have no idea why I'm here. I keep asking, but I don't ever get an answer.
Yeah.
But I'm still here, so I must be doing something.
You got a purpose still. It's not over. You still got stuff to do.
Yet.
Absolutely. You're an absolute joy and pleasure. Do you have your hat nearby? Because I want to show that to the people real quick. Because your hat has a lot of cool stuff on it, and I know it all tells a story.
That's my service record.
That's your service record.
Yeah.
And we'll show that. We definitely have to find the hat, y'all. So that's MIA. We will pull that out of somewhere. Somewhere it's going to be here. But Luke, I want to tell you so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for coming out today and sharing your story. I know my listeners are going to love it. The truth is, these guys, the World War II fellas, you guys got amazing stories that the majority of Americans would never be able to relate to. And some of it they wouldn't necessarily want to relate to. They just like the idea of hearing how you guys fought through stuff and were able to make it out and made such a difference with our country. So thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. And I want to tell you guys out there for tuning in. Thank you guys for always tuning in. Send me great messages. I'm going to ask you, please do me the favor. You got to do me this favor. Go to my website, motivatewithcoachcamp.com. I need you to do something else. Subscribe to my YouTube. And until next time, Coach Camp out.
I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want, and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no, I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, man.